All right, so you want to know where the best seats at Estadio BBVA are at? Excuse me, Estadio Monterrey? Stay tuned for this video. Dímelo, mi gente, travel football fan, back from my trip from Barranquilla and Monterrey. If you want this type of content, please make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Click on the bell button to be notified when I load up these videos. Make sure you like the video and comment. Let me know what you think of this video. Let me know if Monterrey is in your travel plans for 2026. All right, so I decided to put the mic back up here. So I got to go to Monterrey a couple weeks ago at the invitation of the FIFA Monterrey World Cup host committee. And part of that trip was for me to conduct a stadium tour of Estadio BBVA, or it'll be known as Estadio Monterrey, during 2026. Basically, it was just me, the construction workers, and the tour guide. That was basically it. So I really got a backstage access to it. So much so that it was really under construction. I mean, that was really the vibes of it right then and there. This stadium is big. It is huge. Not so much because of the way that it's shaped, the dome feature that it has, but it is one of those stadiums that you go down into. So that kind of gives it a bit of a pit environment, so to say, which I think really is amplified when, as you'll see later on in the video, as you're looking up towards the mountains, especially if you're in the lower level, that's gonna look quite like if the mountain's almost kind of like on top of you. Okay, so a couple of things here. I did have some notes here about the stadium itself. So it's going to have a capacity of about 53,000 people. Right now, as I said, they are working on the pitch itself. So that's going to take about 7 weeks to complete that type of work there. And they're just installing the tubing, the irrigation, everything that's needed to ensure that that grass stays as pristine of conditions as possible for next summer. Now, how to get to the stadium, you're going to be taking the Línea Uno, or the Line 1 Metro, to the Exposición station, or Expo de Guadalupe. All right. And then it's going to be about a 20-minute-ish walk from the Metro all the way to the stadium. I don't know what's going to be the situation with parking. Probably not going to happen, as has been the case with previous World Cups. But we'll in general, remember that when you're going to Monterrey, line 6 of the metro is going to be the one that's going to take you from the airport to the hotel zone. You're going to be able to connect to line 1 at a walking distance from line 6. And they're currently constructing that metro right now. So all hope is that line 6 gets fixed. You can go fly in into the airport, get the line 6, go to your hotel, walk to line 1, and then over to the stadium for one of those 4 games that Monterrey will be hosting next summer. All right, so before I got to see the view of the mountain, right, we went through what's going to be the hospitality section, or at least one of the hospitality sections for Estadio BBVA. Like I said, it was really so backstage, they hadn't even turned on the lights yet of the stadium. So they didn't really get too much good content, that would be visible, that, would be good for you. Having said that, like I said, they're in full renovation mode, okay? So, it's under construction. Let's just put it that way, okay? Having said that, though, I would say that if you're going to go for hospitality in this stadium, right, you're not really going to get too much of the view of the mountain. Again, my visibility was affected by the cloud cover. So who knows? Maybe you will get a really good view of the mountain, not the same as you would on that end, right, of the picture that we are aware of. But at least in the club section, I mean, you're right smack in the middle, midfield. Like in terms of game view, like it's fantastic, right? At least from that from that viewpoint, you're going to have a really, really middle of the pitch view of the games that are going to be played there. But again, that mountain view, I'm not too sure how it's going to happen there. Of course, one of the cool things, if you notice in the video already, if it has passed or not, is that you are going to have that entrance. You're going to have that viewpoint where there's like a glass panel there, and you're going to be able to see the teams kind of come down the stairs and then go to, the pitch itself. So that's very interesting. If you kind of want to have one, like kind of that exclusive, like backstage kind of sort of access, or at least viewpoint of the teams coming in and out of the locker rooms, that would be really cool to have as a backdrop there. But that is going to be the viewpoint there from a hospitality perspective for these games. All right, soak in the view. because it was a majestic view. Even with the cloud cover, you could still tell that there was something towering behind those clouds. Look, this is the view that we all want if we're going to go to Monterrey, whether it is for a game, whether it is to make the stadium tour, which, trust me, I told the World Cup committee of Monterrey, I told the Nuevo León Secretary of Tourism, I told the Visitor Center of Monterrey, I told everyone possible, make it happen. So hopefully they'll take the advice and we go from there. Okay. This view is what we all want to see, right? Now, be ready for this view, even though it's up in the 200s, that was in the upper level, it will most likely be a category 1 ticket, which for many of you are going to be like, wait a minute, but category 1 is the below part. It's supposed to be closer to the pitch. Yes, but because this is the view, because this is what makes Estadio BBVA, Estadio Monterrey, so unique, do expect FIFA to price it accordingly. Even when you look at some of the most recent continental tournaments that Rayados has been playing, notably versus Inter Miami in the 2 previous editions of the CONCACAF Champions Cup, which this was the information I was able to find, that viewpoint was the most expensive ticket at the stadium. Like, it is what it is, folks, okay? So if you're going to want that seat, that view, be ready to pay category 1 pricing, even though in a traditional sense, it will not be considered a category 1 ticket. So, you got to take your views with a little bit of extra cash in hand. All right, so let me go ahead and wrap up the video there, as I did have other content, but you know what? Let me not make this video too long. Folks, if you have questions, comments, feedback, anything, please put it in the comments, okay? That way, not only can I potentially respond to your questions and comments, but remember, the folks in Monterrey want to know that you would be willing to travel over there just to get that picture, right? Even if you don't have a ticket to one of the 4 games, they want to know that you're willing to make it out there, because they're really deciding on these things right now. They are going to have stadium, how much to staff, et cetera, because when I was telling them that, hey, people are willing to come to take this picture, they were kind of surprised, actually. Like, they were like, oh, really? Like, people want to come for that? Yes. So please, in the comments, with mountain emojis, with camera emojis, do whatever. Make sure you let Monterrey know that you're willing to travel down there. You want to have a good time, you want to have great food, and you want to take that picture at Estadio BBVA, Estadio Monterrey for 2026. Okay. Apart from that, folks, thank you again for your support. Go ahead and make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. Make sure you click on the bell button to be notified of this content. Also, do make sure that you like this video and you share it with your friends and family. We're going to need everyone to know up to date what the information that they all need and that we all need in order to make sure that we are ready to go for 2026. I hope that made a lot of sense. I kind of feel like I went tongue in words there. In any case, muchas gracias, mi gente, por su apoyo. I'll see you in the next time.